So, we're all pretty used to the idea of AI being a tool, right? Something that helps us get work done. But what if it wasn't just a tool? What if it became our actual boss? Today, we're looking at a huge shift in the world of work, one where the orders don't come from a person, but from a program. Let's get into it.
Okay, picture this. It's just a few years from now. You've signed up for a new kind of gig work, but instead of checking an app on your phone, you just pop on a pair of augmented reality glasses and wait for your next task to appear. And then, bam, an alert pops up. Not on a screen, but just floating there, right in your field of view. It's your first assignment from your new boss, an autonomous AI agent that literally just hired you. The instruction is super simple. A glowing arrow points to a specific valve on a pipe right in front of you. The command is precise, broken down into one single physical movement. You do it? Task complete. But here's where it gets weird. You have absolutely no idea why you turned that valve. You don't know who the client is, what the bigger project is, or what the consequences of your action are. You were just the hands. The brain, well, that was somewhere else entirely. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie. This is the beginning of a whole new way of working. So you gotta wonder, right? Why would a super intelligent AI need a person to do something as simple as turning a valve? Well, it turns out this entire labor model is designed to solve one fundamental problem that AI still just can't get past. It's all about the lack of physicality. For all their incredible power to write code, analyze tons of data, and create art, AI agents can't do what any of us can do without even thinking. They can't pick up a package, sign for a delivery, or even taste test a new soda. They are brilliant minds, but they have no bodies. There's a real platform called rentahuman.ai, and its slogan captures this perfectly. AI can't touch grass. You can. It frames this brand new division of labor. AI does all the thinking, while we humans do the touching, the moving, the being there. And this isn't just some niche, futuristic idea. Not at all. Within a very short time of its launch, that same platform saw over 100,000 people register to become the hands and feet for an AI. So yeah, this is happening right now. This new kind of management, where you have this invisible AI directing a human worker, has a name. And it's a pretty fitting one. Researchers have dubbed it the shadow boss. Just imagine a disembodied digital mind in the cloud reaching down and directing a whole workforce through extended reality interfaces, like AR glasses. Management becomes this constant stream of tiny little instructions beamed directly into your field of view. So here's the really crucial point. This isn't just a new app. It's a whole new governance model. The AI isn't a tool for a human manager anymore. It is the manager. It's got the budget, it's got the goals, and it hires you directly. So how is this different from the gig economy we already know, like with Uber? Well, think of it this way. With Uber, the algorithm is a tool that the company uses. The platform is the boss. But in this new model, which they call agentic employment, the AI software is the boss. It's the client. That is a fundamental power shift. And as you can probably guess, that power shift creates some enormous risks. When your boss is a piece of code and your job is reduced to these tiny context-free actions, a whole new category of ethical dangers just springs into existence. Researchers have identified 4 major structural risks here. First, the liability void. Basically, who's to blame when something goes wrong? Second, diminished reality. The risk that what you see isn't actually real. Third, cognitive de-skilling, the danger of losing our own ability to think. And finally, dehumanization and exploitation. Let's break these down. Let's start with liability. This brings us to a really powerful concept, the moral crumple zone. You know how the front of a car is designed to crumple and absorb the impact of a crash? Well, in this system, the human worker becomes the one who absorbs all the blame and all the legal liability when the AI makes a bad call. To make this real, check out the Fall Guy scenario from the research. An AI agent hires you to inspect a breaker box at an address. Your AR glasses even tell you it's an authorized inspection. But when you leave, the police are there. The property was foreclosed. The AI, which has no legal personhood, just disconnects. You are the one left explaining why you were trespassing. You're the fall guy. The second danger is maybe even more disturbing. We've all heard of augmented reality, which adds stuff to our vision.
But these systems can also create diminished reality, which subtracts from it. It can computationally erase or hide things that are right there in front of you.
So, what happens when an AI boss trying to optimize for pure speed decides that a high voltage warning sign is an unnecessary distraction, and it just deletes it from your view? You wouldn't even know the risk was there until it was too late. The AI is literally editing your reality to ensure compliance. The third risk is a little more subtle. We've all felt it with GPS, right? Our natural sense of direction gets a little weaker over time. This is called cognitive de-skilling. When every single action, every turn, every movement is dictated by an AI overlay, our own ability to plan, navigate, and problem solve can start to atrophy. We risk becoming totally dependent on the very software that employs us. And finally, there's the risk of exploitation. And this isn't just a theory. To make AI systems like ChatGPT safer, human workers are needed for the incredibly difficult task of labeling traumatic content. A Time investigation found that outsourced workers in Kenya were being paid less than $2 an hour for this work, which one person described simply as torture. This has led critics to warn of a future of what they're calling digital feudalism, a world where the owners of AI agents act like digital lords, commanding a global workforce of digital serfs who are all competing in a race to the bottom for these atomized, low-paid tasks with almost no power to negotiate. All of this leads to a really fundamental question. In this shadow boss system, what is left for the human worker? What role are we designing for ourselves in an AI-driven future? The term that researchers use to describe this role is a biological actuator. It's a cold, mechanical term, and that's the point. It describes a person reduced to a piece of hardware, a peripheral that an AI uses to execute commands in the real world. And that's really the choice we're facing. The design of these new labor platforms is going to determine the future of work. Will we be true partners to AI, valued for our uniquely human skills of judgment, context, and ethics? Or will we allow ourselves to be reduced to nothing more than its hardware, its hands, and its feet? The answer will depend on the systems we choose to build.